Welcome to my channel. I've been blessed with an opportunity from my local shop, which is called Gabriel Cycles. I'll link that all in the description, so be sure to have a look at that to demo their Orbea Rallon or Rallon. Many different ways of saying it. It's the first 29er I've ever been on. This is a large, but I'm going to go into the details of exactly what this is spec'd with, and you'll see footage from today's trail, so stay tuned. Here we go. As I mentioned, equipped with 29-inch wheels. That is the only wheel set that you'll get on this particular model. It comes in, this is the M10, so this is like the basic model, then it goes to the M-Team, and then it goes up again to the N-Team Limited. So this is the entry level of this particular one, but either way, on all three of those models, you're going to get the DT Swiss wheel set, which I must say are quite nice, but I'll come on to that when I come to summarize it of exactly what it feels like on the actual trail itself from my very little experience and exposure on it today. So up front on this entry model, you have the Fox 36. It's the performance shock. What you'll get is the factory shocks on the others. So you've got 160mm of travel in this. I dialed it in roughly to what I wanted it today, but I wanted to spend more time riding the bike rather than setting it up. The brake set on this model are the Shimano XTs. Not a massive amount of modulation to play with, so you're kind of either on the power or off the power with these, but once I got used to it, I liked it. When you move up to the other models, you'll get the Guide RSCs, so as you go up in the spec, you're going to get a better quality brake, but actually I can't really fault these for today's ride. I want to give you a glimpse of the Caliper, which is part of the Shimano XTs. Yeah, great. It's not too much I can say here. They do the job, and they do it pretty bloody well. Comes with 780mm bars as standard, the 35mm stem, and what I really like is that you get the carbon spacers on there as well, so that's quite a neat look there. Not something you'll find on everyone, but just makes it look a bit more stealthy. Like it. All the cables on the bike are internally routed, which just declutters the bike completely. It comes very nicely through the frame. I'll just show you the rear on the next one. You just see the cables coming out of the rear end there, so that's exactly the same on the other side. I'll go over to that shortly and give a glance just so you can see, but neatens it up and it looks pretty good. The frame is like a car now. You can go onto the Orbea website and you can customize this bike however you want. There are so many different color schemes on there, it's absolutely insane. So go on there, you can change out certain parts of the bike, and of course you can either have it as standard or you modify it to whatever you want, but just expect that price to go up. But it is a full carbon frame set and it looks pretty sick. Loaded up front with the Descendant crank, and for the actual chainring you have a SRAM 32 Eagle, and that is on my other bike actually, so I can not complain about this group set. It just works flawlessly. For those that aren't familiar with the GX Eagle, it is a well-trodden path of tested cassettes. It is absolutely brilliant, and paired up with this bike, it just makes mincemeat of everything that we've done today. So you have a 10x52 cassette, but what I like in particular is the derailleur is the SRAM. It's a GX Exo 1 rather than the sort of standard entry one, so you're getting a better uplift on the componentry there, and coupled together it worked really well on the trail. I want to move on to this section because you'll find it quite interesting. It's a Concentric pivot system that they use on this bike, and that ultimately means that you're going to be able to keep the bike as planted to the ground when you're braking and pedaling, and that did actually work really well today, so I can vouch for that. It was absolutely fine. But with that adjustment dial that you see there, with the low and lower, when you adjust that, you'll get 7mm of play, and that will slacken that head angle by 0.5 degrees. So very much like my Trek with the Minnow Link, it can make the difference between one ride and another. So I'd very much recommend, although I didn't have time today, that you adjust that, see whether it works for you, and then make a decision where you want it to be placed. So just to give you a better viewing angle of the pivot, when you apply that pressure to get the suspension working, you can just see how that pivot system operates, and it really is quite good out on the ground, so thumbs up. The dropper post installed on this bike is the race face. You get 125mm of travel. Because I'm tall and I'm on a large frame set here, you know, the seat post is already tightened at a high point, so when it was low, seat wasn't quite out the way for me, so that was a bit of a problem. But on the higher end models, you do get more adjustment in that, because they'll give you more travel between 150 175mm. But the operation is cable operated, so nice and easy to maintain. But for today's trail, it worked flawlessly, nice and smooth. You get that infinite adjustment, meaning that you can adjust it anywhere in its travel and then get it to the top end. So when you want it out the way, works fine. When you need it back in for the pedal or uphill climb, that works absolutely fine as well. So we've got the Fox DPX2 suspension, 150mm travel rock in the back, plenty of adjustment in this. Like I say, because I only had this for a limited time today, I haven't really been able to dial it in exactly where I want those settings, but for what I did, it actually handled really well on the trail. You have so much adjustment on there, so you can open it out, you can firm the ride up with the rebound adjustment on the other side. It's just plenty of play to get that to where you want it. Just wanted to give you a glimpse of the other side. There's your rebound adjustment, and there is so much play in there. So like I say previously, you can get that dialed in exactly where you want it. So in summary, it's a fantastic bike. It looks amazing. It's got a good setup for the price point, but the thing for me personally is I'm so used to riding a 27.5 wheelbase that the 29er, I did struggle with it a bit today. Going down, cornering, manoeuvrability, and even going up hills, I found it a little bit of a pig at times, but that's just purely because I'm used to riding my own bike. So that is the beauty of being given the opportunity to go and demo something. It just makes you realise that the dynamics, geometry, how much it can differ from one bike to another. The tyres, they're both wide trails on here, 2.5 wide trails to be precise. You've got a Minion DHF up front, and you've got the 3C compound, which is like the top end of that particular make, and at the rear there you've got a Maxxis Aggressor as well. I didn't really enjoy the Maxxis Aggressor, but certainly loved up front that DHF. Just felt totally glued to the ground today, kept slipping out a bit on that, but again, it's getting used to the dynamics of what is a completely different bike that I've got my ass sat in today. So it's a fantastic bike. They're letting you demo this down at Gabriel Cycles, so of course click on the link down below, get in touch with the guys down there. Kelly's the man to speak to. I've had this for the entire day. I've done my session as I would on my normal bike. There's only so much I can do, but they've got a lot of stuff down there. It's a fairly small shop in comparison to some of the big sort of super chains out there, but a small shop with an absolute cracking big service. So go down there and have a look online. I'll link their Facebook page in the description. But for our first impressions, I like it. I would have liked a bit more time in the saddle, but there were just a couple of things that didn't quite sit well with me today, and I'm all about doing honest reviews. And the 29er, I don't know whether it's for me, but I'm just so used to my own bike. So thanks for the opportunity to test this. What I'd love is if you comment, rate and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Just sessioning the Orbea on a couple of jumps, so I'll see how this thing handles. Right, here we go. Yeah, pallet drop. It's a nice little gap, that. Oh my God!
I almost got my 250 then. Yep. Oh, you took it on lazy line. Oh, loser. Oh dear.